They're not big on surprises. They like to know, what are we doing, right? If you get a number 4 in a car and talking about, I'm going to surprise you, you better quickly tell them where you going. Or this is going to be a bad car ride for you, or they might not ever ride with you ever again.
Straight to a penthouse, Miami Beach. Hey, yo, talk crazy on tweets. They don't want it cause I come to defeat. They don't want it. I peek, these niggas all sweet. Bamboo sticks all in the Jeep. It's a new weirdo every week. Get the whip, put it up for my seeds. No care for the IG, just no care. Anything for clout. They do anything for clout. Do anything for clout. They do anything.
What's up, YouTube? So, the last video, we left off on life path number 3. For this video, we're going to be talking about life path number 4. Okay, so here's some of the things before I even go into life path number 4. Keep this in mind, because as we get to our next few episodes after the series is up, everything is going to make sense later on when I start to combine these things and start to make them set up as a method and a tool to utilize as you go throughout 2025, okay? So if you look at the numbers, right? We've already done life path number 1. That is typically the beginner, the starter, the self-starter, right? That is when you begin to know thyself, right? Start to become, right? After that, you have life path number 2, which we talked about, which life path number 2 is now that one starting to see duality, right? Starting to see two sides of itself, the darkness and the light, right? Starting to see the so-called good and evil, which we'll talk about good and evil later in other episodes, but duality, feminine, masculine, right? And let me tell you, there's a difference. Feminine and masculine does not mean male, female, okay? And we'll talk about that in other videos, but I want to make you understand kind of how numerology kind of plays into the whole makeup of reality itself, okay? Now, after number 2 of duality, right? Taking those things that are done, typically seemingly shouldn't be together, but making them mesh. Now we go over to life path 3, which we talked about, which is the communicator, right? Once you start to see the group of 3s, now we're talking about Trinity, okay? This is where things start to click as far as making things communicate and start to take action, okay? Now, we're getting to a second set now. This is what I like to call the governor numbers. So, life path number 4, life path number 5, and life path number 6 are governor numbers, okay? And I'll tell you why as we go. But let's go ahead and jump into life path number 4. Like I talked about, 1 being the starter, 2 being the duality, 3 is the Trinity, right? Now we're getting into life path number 4, where we're talking about organization, organizing things, right? If you understand the Simatawi, or you understand the systems of Ma'at, one of the things that for those folks that do understand those things from the Kemetic system is now we're talking about a little bit of form of Ma'at here. Okay, so this is balance, reciprocity, right? Keeping things on track, right? Order, right? The square, standing on your square, right? That's where you see number 4 kind of take its shape, right? And this is where you get into the physical plane. And so before I even jump into number 4 in general, let me share with you some celebrities that are number 4s, just like you are. So the first one, all those single ladies out there shooting, even married women, right?
Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block, and it's like
Drake himself is a life path number 4, right? Another one, P. Diddy.
what y'all wanna do? Wanna be ballers, shot callers.
I know today a lot of people don't want to have their name associated with P. Diddy. However, I want to make sure that folks that are watching this channel, if you're watching my channel, one thing that we do is we think for ourselves, right? People should be held accountable for the actions that they do. However, when we're talking about how numbers really operate and looking at these personalities, take all those things out of it, right? Not saying that you are like P. Diddy, right? What I'm saying is take all the negative attributes of what that individual did on their own accord And look at it from a number perspective, because him being a life path number 4 actually benefited him in a large way throughout life. Okay? I know right now a lot of people want to take that away from him, but he benefited in a large way throughout life, being a life path number 4, right? So take those attributes and bring them into yourself so you can benefit as well, right? And hopefully don't make the same mistakes as he did with his fame and success. Another one, a lot of people know this person, Oprah. Oprah herself. Is a life path number 4. Okay? So let's go ahead and dive into how we get a life path number 4. Just in case you're starting with this video as your first video because you are a life path number 4, let me explain how you get to a life path number 4. So let's utilize Drake, for example, when we're building out our life path number 4, folks, right? So Drake was born on October 24th, 1986. Okay, so taking those numbers again, I like to start off with the most difficult addition out of the 3 separate numbers. When I say 3 separate numbers, I'm talking about the month, the day, and the year. Okay, so with the year being 4 different digits, that's the hardest of all 3. So let's take the 1 plus the 9 plus the 8 plus the 6. That should give you 24. Okay. Now let's look at that day number, which is a 24. He's born on the 24th. 2 and 4, that gives you a 6. Okay. Now the month of October, that's pretty easy. 1 plus 0, that gives you 1. So what you should have is a 1, a 6, and a 24. Okay. Remember, with numerology, we got to bring it down to a single digit, right? For this series, we're bringing them all down to a single digit. So with that being said, we haven't finished off with number 24 for the year. Okay. So again, 1986 adds up to 24. Take 24, which is 2 plus 4, and you're going to get 6. All right. Now take that, go over to the next column, which is going to be the day column. That we left that off with a 6. That 6 is just carried down. It's a 6 still. That 1 for the month, same thing as a 1 is carried down. That's a 1 still. So what you should have now is a 1 for the month, a 6 for the day, and another 6 for the year. Okay, splitting the 3s. All right. Now you take the 6 plus 1, and that's going to give you 13, right? As we go on for more numerology, you'll see that 13 is a pretty magical number. But anyways, it's a 13. Now, you take the 1 plus the 3, because we got to bring that down to a single digit. That is going to be a 4 now, okay? So that's how you get your life path number 4. Okay, so hopefully you followed along and you kind of figured it out for yourself. If your life path, as you're watching this video, is not a life path number 4, look throughout the series, and I'm sure you're going to find your life path as we're going through all of them right now, okay? So life path number 4, let's kind of get into it. This is the first governor number, right? This number is in the business of balance, right? This number is in the business of kind of organization, right? So when you look at Drake, Oprah, and P. Diddy, right? They done a lot of great things in their life when it comes from a success standpoint.
I got my MTV out.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
But the way that they came about doing it, that they have in common is, I'm pretty sure they're very, very organized. Okay? And with that organization, they have number 4s have a practical sense of the way that they view the world, right? Number 4s also don't enjoy surprises too much.
Surprise! What the You don't want goddamn key back.
What?
I can have a goddamn day to myself.
It's a surprise party!
Surprise my day. I tell you every day. Every
Dad, this was gonna be like the final house video. I wanted to like have a surprise party.
If y'all move back in with me or something.
They're not big on surprises. They like to know What are we doing, right? If you get a number 4 in a car and talking about I'm going to surprise you, you better quickly tell them where you going. Or this is going to be a bad car ride for you, or they might not ever ride with you ever again.
Don't. Let me out.
Because for them, they organize their day. Number 4s are going to organize their day, and they don't want to be off schedule. They don't want to be off schedule, right? One of the negative things about that, right, especially when it comes to relationships, is if you're married to a life path number 4, or your spouse's life path number 4, typically they can kind of sometimes be seen as boring, right? And the reason why is because they have everything organized. Life is planned out. They know exactly, hey, we're doing this at this day, we're doing this at this year, we're moving along. Okay? And so with life path number 4, with those relationships, you have to get used to understanding that they like to know that what they're doing is actually going to have an impact in what they're doing in their whole life, right? So if they already have a schedule already planned, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to break that schedule. It's just not going to happen, right? They'll deviate here and there, but for the most part, after a while, they're going to ghost you. They are going to ghost you because you keep messing up their schedule, right? Life path number 4s, again, they're practical, very practical. They're very driven, right? And when I say driven, I say not from a sense of being motivated. Life path number 4s do not need motivation, right? They might start off with some to get inspired by something, but they don't need motivation, right? Once they have their eyes set on the thing, they will plan it out to make sure that they can achieve it, okay? And so with the life path number 4, you have to remember to make sure also that although you have these great traits as far as organizing your life and things of that nature, take a second to be real sometimes, okay? Take a second to understand that everyone doesn't think the same way that you do, right? And kind of take a break from your schedule sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes take a break from that schedule so that way you can get a new perspective on some of the things that you're working on this year, okay? That's another way to kind of look at it, right? One thing is that you're going to think is, hey, I have to get things done. But when you're doing your things, you're doing things from a place of what you already know, right? And so what I say is take a step back this year, try to kind of envelop and try to understand different philosophies and understanding that people around you have. And to do that, you have to take a step back and just relax, just breathe a little bit. Right? Be fine with the unknown sometimes, right? Be fine with the unknown this year, okay? And the reason why I say that, I'm not saying be lackadaisical. I'm saying to do that because then you will get a better understanding of some other concepts and some different things that might help you solve your issues or get to a solution faster than what you're currently working on now, okay? And so throughout 2025, I want you to try that. Just try that for throughout 2025. It's just sometimes I'll say probably, once a week, relax. Just have a relaxed day where you're allowing yourself to try new things, where you're allowing yourself to not possibly have a schedule, right? So that way the goal is for you to be able to see a different concept and a way of doing things, all right? But one good thing about you, life path number 4, is that when it comes to finance and business, these are your people, right? You are the best person, well, one of the best people, right? We're going to talk about life path number 8 later. But to start that off, life path number 4 is really good at keeping that dedication, at getting to what they want, right? And so being a business person, a manager or a CEO, or even something as simple as even an accountant, right? Those things really go well with your number because you don't mind sitting alone, kind of doing things on your own, and just focusing on your tasks, right? Your to-do list can get knocked down easily compared to everyone else's, okay? And so one of the things that life path number 4 is, again, I want to make sure that you understand this. Take some time to breathe, right? Map out what your goal is. Map out the things that you want to do. Not typically life path number 4s are really good. They usually start off trying to do sports, things of that nature, because sports keep you on task to a schedule. Right? So you probably noticed as a child, you probably did something that required you to stay on schedule in some kind of way. And you enjoyed that. You liked knowing what's happening with your time and what's happening with your day. You don't like wasting time. And another thing life path number 4 don't like wasting time with is piss poor relationships, right? If you are not making things happen, or if you do not have a plan, at least for yourself, life path number 4 is not going to be your friend. They're not going to hang around too long, okay? So the good thing about that is if you have a friend that is a life path 4 and you have an issue trying to organize or trying to start a thing and finish it, get with their life path 4 number friend, and they're going to make sure that they provide you with whatever techniques that's required to go ahead and be able to hit that target, okay? It will be hard on you, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and when you are, for instance, when we were here before, you know what? I mean, all the things ever printed in the tabloid, the only thing's ever been true is when they said I couldn't dance. When we were here the last time shooting the commercial, you were...
It's gonna be hard on you, but at least you're gonna make it there. At least you're gonna get it there. And then you, on the flip side, help that number 4 sometimes relax, right? So that they can get a new perspective, okay? So life path number 4, right? Like I mentioned, make sure that you take time out for yourself, okay? All right. So for this next episode, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump right from life path number 4, and we're gonna move right over to life path number 5, okay? So life path number 5, if you're a life path number 5, sit down and just watch the video, okay? Just sit down and just watch the video. I know there's a bunch of shiny corners, but just sit down and watch the video. All right, so if you're a life path number 5, I'll see you over there.
Straight to a penthouse, Miami Beach. Talk crazy on tweets. They don't want it cause I come to defeat. They don't want it. I peek, these niggas all sweet. Bamboo sticks all in the Jeep. It's a new weirdo every week. Get the whip, put it up for my seeds. No care for the IG, just